My name is Jim Larocco. I was a diplomat for more than 30 years and continued in diplomacy, working for international organizations in the Defense Department for about 10 years after that. My career was mainly the Middle East, but also the Far East. And it was in April of 1989 when the streets of Beijing were filled with people. Everywhere you could see. And my son and I would get on our bicycles and we would ride around, because everybody rode in bicycles in those days. And we would stop to see what was going on. And when they heard that we were Americans, they would say, with their eyes so bright, "Can you tell us about your freedoms?" And we would talk about our Bill of Rights and say that our founding fathers would not approve our Constitution until there were those rights that were attached to it. And they were in awe and wonder. And they said, "This is what we want. This is what we deserve." On June 1st of that year, I took my family down to Tiananmen Square. It was filled with young students, Chinese students, who had tents and everything. And we had, our third child had been born there just not long, and they loved having our baby and taking photos with us. And I took many movies of that. And they always like to say, "Well, you know, you have these babies, these Western babies, they look like little dolls," which of course we all thought was, they got it wrong. It's the other way around. Anyway, Tiananmen, 4 days later, exploded. And my family, unfortunately, can never forget what happened as we not only heard the gunfire, but saw it. It may have been a story never told, but one of the apartment buildings where we were living took over 600 rounds of bullets. And fortunately, our people had been warned, and they were on the floor, and the bullets went right over their heads. We, not having any military present, knew we had to spring into action. And this is what Foreign Service officers do under a country team where we all work together. We went into what is the most fundamental aspect of our embassies and consulates, and that's protecting American citizens. We worked around the clock. We literally took over the airport. I mean that literally, because the airport had been abandoned. We took it over, we ran it, we ran convoys, we successfully evacuated many people. We had a whole system set up where we had called everyone immediately and said, "Stand fast. If you believe you are safe where you are, stay there. If you want to be evacuated and go home or somewhere out of the country, we will help you." I personally led a convoy to Tianjin, which is on the coast, and we brought back 180 people straight to the airport and out. Now, after all this, not one American was injured or killed. And I want to make 3 points here in closing. One is that I still believe to this day that the Chinese people of all ages want and covet our freedoms. And that will happen someday. I had hoped it'd be earlier than now, but it will happen. Secondly, is of very much importance is that role that we played to protect American citizens. We have your back. Third is something that I think needs to be written about more, which is the greatest institution ever invented in America. It is the country team. It is a beauty to watch. You have disparate agencies all together under the leadership of the ambassador, and they can work seamlessly in crises and even in everyday situations. When we look at our own government and the disarray, you do not see that at a well-run embassy. And this is something I hope more people will look into.